가봅시다. 유하! 안녕하세요. 오늘 해볼 게임은 탱글타워. 나온지 좀 된 게임인데 이번에 스팀 미스테리 카테고리 할인하면서 발견한 게임이에요. 재밌다는 추천이 많아서 한번 해보도록 하겠습니다. 오고싱 탱글타워 오후 중반. 소리가 안 큰가요, 여러분? 괜찮은가? 호수 가장자리.
It's a bird bath. Is that just rainwater? Looks a little weird.
보통의 그런 추리 게임들처럼 누르면은 그 물건에 관련해서 뭔가 주인공이라고 해야 되나? 그 생각 같은 걸 알려주네.
They're even singing a little tune.
Please don't do that.
등장인물은 2명인가봐요. 주인공 쪽
The
등장인물이.
ground's moist, but it's not muddy.
땅이 젖었는데 진흙투성이는
I wonder how often
아니다.
it rains
I
here.
cannot believe how exciting this murder investigation is already.
살인사건 조사가 얼마나 흥미로울지 벌써부터 정말 기대되네. 이 게임은 약간 살인사건이 벌어졌는데 그거를 추리 퍼즐식으로 추리해서 퍼즐을 풀며 추리해서 알아내는 그런 게임이라고 하더라고요.
What?
Wind chimes. Silent wooden wind chimes.
It's just an archway, but it seems a little odd. Like walking through it.
Too late.
이 친구 굉장히 시크하네요.
It's the little boat we used to cross the lake. It's the only way on.
What a comforting thought. I tied the boat up to the mooring post. Now,
Loving the confidence. You ready, Sally?
Grimoire, I've been standing here for 7.5 minutes.
Just
Do
checking.
you have the map?
Yeah, but it's... Did you read the case file? What do you
사건
think?
I'm
파일.
not sure yet. Did you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it on the way to the crime
이
scene.
오른쪽 하단에 보면은 사건 파일이 있다고 하네요. 근데 우리 살짝 보이네. 이렇게 누르면 보인대요. 사건 파일, 살인 피해자, 프레이야 펠로우. 플로라 펠로우의 초상화를 그리는 도중 사망했대요. 현장에서 초상화 모델로 포즈를 취하고 있었다. 프레이야 펠로우는 등을 바닥에 대고 쓰러진 채 발견됐으며 가슴에 단 하나의 자상을 입은 상태였다. 현장에서 어떠한 무기도 발견되지 않았지만 끝내지 못한 그림 속의 주인공은 칼을 들고 있다. 헐. 칼 끝에 빨간색 물감이 아니다. 피인 것으로 확인됐다. 헐! 진짜 피가 발라져 있었대요. 뭐야? 종이 위에 그려진 작은 그림, 뒤에 메모가 적혀있다. 이곳은 현재 탱글타워라고 불리지만 하단부에 저택이 연결된 2개의 탑이 있을 뿐이다. 원형의 호수에 둘러싸여 있다. 호수물은 이상한 색이다. 호수는 깎아지른 듯한 절벽에 둘러싸여 있고 절벽은 너무나 가파르고 매끄러 오를 수가 없다. 탱글타워에는 현재 2 가문이 거주한대요. 펠로우 가문과 포인터 가문? 이라고 하네요. 오케이. 뭐 이렇게 볼 수 있나봐요. 오케이. 여기에서 이렇게 이동할 곳을 클릭하면 되나봐요. 다음 장소로 이동해볼까요? 정원. 그 이상한 색을 띈다는 그...
It's full of the same
호수인가?
weird water that was in the lake.
Any fish in there?
Not a single one. Although there is something.
It's a cassette tape. Or it used to be.
물속에 버려져 있는 걸 발견했어요. 손상된 테이프. 라벨의 잉크는 번져서 알아볼 수가 없다. 오케이.
It's a statue of some hideous, scaly,
북악생인데
bipedal fish
흉측하고
monster.
비닐로 뒤덮인 2발로 걷는
Playing
괴물.
harp.
Playing a harp. Hang on a second.
자세히 봐봐. 어?
This.
Something tells me we're not gonna solve this just.
아, 뭐 이런 게 있나 봐요.
Let's come back.
힌트를 찾아와야
It
되나 봐.
must do something.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
오케이. 하프 동상.
Spooky. What do you think it's for?
I think it's to scare
Is it
away.
working?
No. What animal is?
Hawk.
Right. Of course. A hawk bear lizard.
매곰도마 매. 알?
It's a stone carving. Wonder how it got cracked.
I think it's supposed to look like that. It's an egg.
This is some garden.
Do the plants all look a
식물이
little
모두
strange to
낯설게
you?
느껴지지 않아?
It's a path through the garden. Leads up to the house, I assume.
It's a bandstand.
연주
It's small for a
무대.
bandstand.
It's a one-man bandstand.
이건 뭐야?
It's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to say,
It's not. It's an appropriate amount of quiet.
일단은 볼 거 다 본 것 같아요. 다음으로 넘어가 볼까? 정문! 표지판에 5가 빠져있네요?
should we ring the door?
Why would we not? It's a little melody.
딴딴딴딴딴 따단.
Oh.
What?
Oh. There's an O on the floor.
Oh yeah. Tangle Tower.
Twir. Oh.
What?
Oh.
Oh
There's a
yeah. Tangle.
Twir. Is that an
빨간색
envelope?
봉투를 찾았어요.
It's been opened, but the letter's still in there.
열려 있어. 아직 안에 편지가
Let's read it.
들어있네. 읽어보자.
Isn't that an invasion?
Oh, definitely.
봉투가 뜯어져 있다. 안에는 작은 종이가 들어있습니다. 조합은 다른 종이에 있습니다. 조합을 외운 뒤 이 종이를 없애십시오. 당신의 사고에는 동의할 수 없습니다. 이 밑에서 찾을 수 없을 겁니다. 뭐야? 뭐라고 써져 있는 거야 저게? 무슨 말이지?
Do you think he'll start to move if we try to go inside?
No, I think he'll just silently judge us.
Don't think it's locked.
Oh, that means we
열려
can
I'm
just
pretty sure
있대요.
that's the rule, yeah.
들어가 볼까? 볼 건 다
Let's head to the crime scene. It's at the top of the west tower.
아, 여기 먼저 갔다 가야 되나 봐요. 그랜드 홀. 여기가 이제 사건 현장인 것 같고 여기는 이제 그 다른 가문이 같이 산다 그랬었으니까 그곳인가 봐.
It's a big glass tube filled with water.
큰 유리관에 물로 가득 차 있다.
There are weeds in there.
It's an
And-
aquarium?
Could be. Except there's nothing
Mhm.
more.
What is
I
that?
think it's a family
가게도가?
tree.
오. 이걸 나중에 필요하면 다시 꺼내보면 되니까요. 되게 얽히고 설켜있네. 지금 다시
What
볼까?
I
is
think it's a family.
로드 리멘토? 로드 포인터, 로드 리멘톤. 여기는 레이디 펠로우. 가문이 이렇게 했나봐. 근데 여기에 같이 결혼한 그런 게 있네. 세 가문이 얽혀있네요. 이 집에는 두 가문이 살고 있는데 가게도에는 세 가문이 나와있네.
It's not locked.
A door.
Oh, what's behind it?
A room.
A big letter
Of
F.
course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner of their initial in the lobby of their mansion? This one has a big P.
That's
How very P-ceptive. We should try and be finished before sure.
일단 이동하면 되나봐요. 여기 와 근데 뭐가 되게 많다 방이. 올라가 봅시다. 이 사건 현장 온 것 같아요.
There it is. The unfinished portrait of Flora
완성되지
Fellow.
못한 초상화.
So, what? Freya was killed halfway through painting it?
Looks that way.
칼 끝에 있는 이 빨간 게 물감이 아니고 피래요.
I wonder if all of Freya's paintings are this creepy. Maybe it's just because she never got to finish it.
There's something wrong with the crime scene. And something really weird about the murder weapon.
We didn't find a murder weapon.
이게 뭐야? 아직 다 안 살펴봤는데? 아직 다 안 살펴봤는데요? 잠깐만. 프레이야가 그것을 먹을 것이다. 찔렀기 때문이다.
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya.
What?
Weird, huh?
You think Freya was stabbed by a painting? Not by the woman from the painting, but by the painting itself.
Mm-hmm. Freya was standing right up by the canvas when she was killed. There's blood on the knife. It's the murder weapon.
Right, but it's not actually a knife. It can't stab.
See any other knives around here? Case closed.
The case is not closed. And even if you were right, where does that leave us? A painting can't be a murder
한 건
suspect.
일단 지금 제가 막 조립한 건 된 건가? 근데 좀 더 살펴봐야 될 것 같아. 아! 끝내지 못한 그림. 계속하기. 틀렸어. 말도 안 돼.
Is that a gramophone?
I think so.
죽은 게
Except it's
금갔어.
got a tape deck.
It's also got a big crack down the middle.
아, 이걸로 기절시키려고 쳤나봐.
What about the cassette tape?
Yeah, it sure is. I think.
소프야.
Do you think it still works?
The gramophone? Yeah, we could give it a go.
무슨 소리야?
Weird.
It's someone humming a tune.
이것도 들어보자.
It's piano music.
그러게.
Is that an egg? An egg with bird feet.
It's
석진스.
also covered in gemstones.
채팅을 이쪽으로 내려드릴까요? 채팅을 왼쪽
What a
상단으로
completely
올려놓을게요.
ordinary object.
자세히 보자.
I think it's a container for something.
Those gems look like they come off. Nope.
Did you check the clue? I'm pretty sure it explains where to put each of the gems.
아, 똑같은 모양을 하는 게 아니구나. 그다음에 별이랑 요거 그다음에 엥? 잠깐만. 자, 처음부터 다시 차근차근. 요게 이건 것 같아요, 그지? 그래서 세모랑 동그라미 했거든요? 그 다음에 세모 동그라미 그 다음 요거 별하고 노란 색깔 요거 그쵸? 그 다음에 이렇게 쭉 가로지르는 게 요거랑 요거 세모하고 별 이게 아니고 노란색 요 노란색 요거 그 다음에 세모하고 별 됐다.
I guess that's wrong.
What's the deal with those? It must mean something.
아니라고? 뭐가 틀렸지? 이거 했고 요거 했고 이거 했고 그 다음에 이거 했고 뭐가 안 된 거죠 지금? 뭘 안 한 거지? 그 다음에 이거 별하고 노란색 맞는데? 아, 얘네들이 자리가 바뀌었다고?
I got
아,
I'm impressed.
굿굿.
Did it unlock?
됐다.
nothing.
Nothing.
Well,
Huh?
I'm not leaving without a clue. Empty egg is a clue, right?
뭐야, 기껏 열었는데 아무것도 없어?
The outline of Freya Fellow. Looks like she fell onto her back. There's a single patch of blood. No real sign.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas.
So?
So she was probably standing really close to the canvas.
Let's check the case file again.
등을 바닥에 대고 쓰러져 있었다.
쏙떡쏙떡 월드 온 걸 환영해요.
Flora Fellow?
어머, 뭐야?
Hey, sorry to barge
할로
in.
감사합니다.
I'm sure you're still in some distress.
그러니까 그림 그리다가 이렇게
We
된
need to
거 아니야?
ask you a few questions, I'm afraid.
Did you witness the murder, Flora?
Nothing. What do we do?
Not sure. She's entitled to her silence, I suppose.
For now. Is there anything you'd like to tell us, Flora? I
말하고
don't really
싶은
know
거
anything
없나요?
about you at all.
I think that's the way she likes it. We'll just have to ask other people about her.
Yeah, okay.
어제
Freya was painting your portrait yesterday. Is that right?
Was this something you had planned with her?
사람은
ahead of
맞아?
time?
왜 자꾸 나무가
Was there
킥킥거리는
something
소리가 나?
special about yesterday?
사람은 맞나요?
Did you talk to Freya at all while she was painting you?
She's not going to answer us, is she?
Nope. But at least we can say we tried. Flora, you were definitely in the room at the time of the murder. Surely you
아,
must have
티티님 어서
seen
오세요.
something?
식사 맛있게 하셨나요?
Can you tell me anything about what happened to Freya?
한마디도 안 할 거야, 진짜?
She's acting pretty suspicious if you ask me.
I don't know. Maybe she really doesn't know anything.
How is that possible?
일단은
A little pot plant.
It's
About-
the only plant in the entire room.
Freya's painting supplies.
모두 한쪽으로 금이 가 있대요. 쏟아졌다가 누가 다시 올려놨나 봐. 그지?
Freya's painting supplies.
그죠? 한쪽으로 와장창 했다가
Supposedly, Freya was working. Looks like she was still.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
Supposedly, Freya was.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
그쵸? 이렇게 목소리가 예뻐.
Half the room is a.
I don't know if you can call it. It's more like the sudden absence of wall. It's so dark back there.
Somehow, the sunlight doesn't seem to be making it very far. The whole room is a.
Yeah,
strange-
there might be a reason for that.
That's the only door.
It's also
Sure is. Guessing it's not.
됐다. 일단은 알아볼 거 다 알아본 거 같은데요? 그러면 이쪽을 가볼까? 작업장.
Puffer?
yes, it's also a lamp for some reason.
저기요?
Sir? Can you hear me? I'm Private Detective Grimoire. I have some questions for you.
Grimoire. Good mysterious
고맙습니다.
name. I'd rather like it. Felix Fellow at your beck and
어!
call.
And, this is my colleague, Sally.
말을 한다, 이
that's
사람은.
a perfectly good name as well.
Thanks.
If you would, Mr. Fellow, we really need to ask you about the murder.
Well, I must say I'm rather jealous of you two.
Oh, yeah? Why's that?
Out here solving mysteries, exploring new places, uncovering
목소리.
secret rooms, hidden treasures. That's what life is all about.
Secret rooms?
비밀의 방?
Generally speaking, you know.
뭘
that
말하는
sort
것
of thing.
같은데?
So, Felix, what exactly
정확히
do
당신이
you
하는 일이 뭐죠?
do?
Is it not obvious? I'm an explorer.
탐험가?
Explorer.
아, 그래서 부럽다
treasure
그랬구나.
hunter. Yes, well, best in the world.
We're talking like curse statues, spike pits.
It's a little more sophisticated than that. But I've certainly seen my share of danger, if that's what you're asking.
And, if I may ask, when did you retire?
Adventures
쉬고
right
있는
now,
거다.
but it's
은퇴한 게
simply not in my
아니다.
nature to stay in one place for too long. I go wherever the winds of destiny take me.
Don't you live here with your wife and daughter?
Yes, well, the fellow family has certain loyalties, and with Flora the way she is,
Nothing wrong with raising a family, Mr. Fellow.
don't misunderstand me. Fiona and Flora are my entire world. They are the greatest treasure of all.
Uh-huh.
근데 두고 혼자서 그렇게
Why
다니신다?
on earth would you want to know about that?
The murder of Freya Fellow. The
그래서 여기 온
reason
건데요?
we're here.
Ah, right. Nasty business. Very unfortunate. I regret that I can't be of any help, but I wish you all the best in your investigation.
Hear that, Grimoire? We're done here. Let's go.
It's a simple question, Felix. I'm sure you're up to it.
Well, there's not much to tell. Mostly, I was in my room by myself, working on Flora's, working on a project.
Your room is quite close to Flora's tower. You
다른
didn't hear
소리를
anything
들은 건
unusual?
없나요?
What qualifies as unusual?
뭐 깨지는 소리 이런 거.
What have you got?
얘기해, 얼른.
It was dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent, perhaps. Uncertain, as life itself.
Abridged version,
요점만
please.
말해주세요.
Right. Fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs. Just outside my
계단을
room.
내려가는 소리를
The
들었다.
footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps going
두
the
번째
same
발걸음?
way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor
Poppy?
below. Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest.
팬 누구야?
I thought perhaps she'd had a disagreement with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor.
아, 이렇게 오다가
Fiona,
발견한
Poppy,
거구나.
Fitz and Pointer were there already. Flora too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me.
아직 잠겨있네요, 뭐가. 오케이.
Puffer?
Yes, it's also a lamp. Nice. A real.
How do you know this treasure?
Why else would? Plus, there's a treasure map hanging. What's the deal with that painting on the front?
Not sure. We should check that treasure map too.
상자의 자물쇠 조합을 찾으려면 보물지도를 사용해. 보물지도. 용. X. 산. 뭐야 이거. HIJ 아니에요? 요거 아니야 요거? I가 아니고 숫자 1인가? I 맞는 것 같은데? 응? 아 2다. 숫자 여기는 숫자 2고 요거 나무가 이거는 방향으로 나오라는 것 같은데 X로부터 2?
Nothing.
Did you check the treasure map? And what about that painting on the chest?
아 요걸 기준으로 해야 되나? 그럼 이건 N인데
Still
I
locked.
think like they're different.
H랑 요거는 2인데 왜 4예요? 요거야? 이거 아니고?
That was
The padlock has 3 different inputs. It's just a grid reference for the map.
I? 아 요거 X자를 기준으로 하는 거구나.
that was
The
No,
padlock
아닌데?
has 3. It's just a grid reference for the
이것도
map.
아닌데? 요거는 맞는 것 같거든요? H
that was
The padlock is just a grid reference for the map.
잠깐만
that
뭐라고?
The
was
padlock has 3 different inputs. A letter, a number, and a compass direction.
자물쇠는 3칸이 있어. 글자, 숫자, 나침반
It's just a
방향,
grid
지도,
reference for the map.
기준, 선망. 용은 일단 H 맞는 것 같은데 이가 아닌가? 이 같은데
that
The
was
padlock is just a grid reference for the map.
that
The
was
padlock is just a grid reference for the map.
that
The
was
padlock is just a grid reference for the map.
요거를 기준으로 그러니까 지금 보면은 우리가 X 여기잖아요. 그럼 X를 기준으로 이거랑 이거랑 이거를 보라는 건가? 그러면은 일단 첫 번째 거는 알파벳이니까 H 맞는 것 같고 여기서 보면은 E 맞잖아. 응, 그림 기준으로. 그러면은 왜 H6W예요? 왜 이건 왜 W야? 응? 무슨 말이야? 잠깐만. 위치 6 여기요? 여기서 W 방향을 보면은 아 여기 이게 아니고 여기네 그러면. 아 이게 뭔지 알겠다. 이게 지금 요 그림 요 구도가 나올 수 있는 걸 찾아서 여기다 넣는 건데 우리가 지금 이걸 했는데 안 나왔잖아요. 그리고 애초에 이게 틀린 게 여기 보면은 용하고 산은 되게 가까운데 야자수가 엄청 멀리 있단 말이야. 그게 여기네. 지금 그 얘기 하시는 거죠? 이 맵에서 표시된 것 중에서 이거랑 가장 가까운 느낌으로 나오는 게 이거다라는 거지?
There we go.
아, 오케이, 오케이.
What was in the box?
More wooden models.
아.
These are a little different to the one on the desk.
책상에 있는 거랑 좀 다르대요. 여기 있다. 빨간색 여기 있는데? 이 가족들은 빨간색을 왜 이렇게 좋아하는가?
A little hand-painted statue.
How can you tell it's
Well,
hand-
the paints are
Also,
I mean, no offense, but you can just tell.
여기 있는 애들은 안 깨졌어.
A map with a dot.
That's a very boring way to describe a treasure. The entire room is
Oh,
made
it's not just made. I think it's the actual hull of a ship. A pencil drawing of a mountain.
mood.
It's a barometer.
I've never seen a barometer that wasn't broken. The entire room is
Oh, it's
made-
not just. I think it's the actual hull of a ship. More maps.
No, they're just blank.
됐어. 그럼 이 방에서 조사할 건 다 한 것 같고 다음 아랫방을 가봅시다. 아 여기가 플레이어 방이구나.
Not the kind of lamp I choose for my
It's
bed.
cool. Looks like old mining equipment or something. That painting. is
Why
real.
would you want it looming over
Maybe Frey enjoyed the atmosphere it creates.
the atmosphere of chaos?
Hang on. There's a smaller version down by the floor.
It's a photograph.
사진. 여기랑 여기랑 여기 뭐가 있나봐. 찍혀있대요.
Painting supplies. Painting supplies. Frey is bare.
Looks pretty depressed.
He's had a rough couple of days.
Do you think this was always?
I don't know. It is kind of a weird shape.
No windows either. Do you think this was always?
I don't know.
No windows
여기
either.
구조가 좀 이상해.
A pillow with a paw print.
It's a
pattern.
cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't alliterate. It's Freya's bed. Little bit messy.
It's a perfectly healthy amount of messy.
It's a little wooden box.
To the casual observer, maybe.
어,
They're not real paintbrushes. Looks like they're part of some kind
자물쇠
of lock
장치의
mechanism.
일부. 붓을 바꿔서 올바른 순서를 찾아 종이 퍼즐을 맞춰 단서를 찾아봅시다. 이거다. 그죠? 근데 그래서 무엇이냐? 그래서 뭐냐는 건데 (1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6이 뭐지? 물음표가 하나 있어서 1이 핑크인가? 붓을 묘사했다는 게 뭐예요? 왜 이렇게 여러분들은 바로 알아요? 왜 난 모르겠지? 잠깐만. 뭐가 1번이고 뭐가 2번이에요, 근데? 뭐 이건 또 뭐고? 난 아예 모르겠는데? 아예 땅땅땅빵님도 모르잖아요. 방송의 재미를 위해서 입을 닫고 있었던 거라고? 아니 이 종이 그냥 이 종이에 순서가 없잖아. 세로줄로 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6이 뭐예요? 뭐가 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6이라는 거야? 이거 두 개? 아, 요렇게 이거 얘기하는 거지. 이거 요렇게 세로줄. 아, 오케이. 근데 이게 뭐? 아, 일단 세로줄을 찾았어요. 세로줄은 알겠어. 아, 이게 여기 이거 높이 얘기하는 거구나. 그럼 초록색은 여기네? 에? 근데 이거 아닌데. 그러게 여기 아닌데? 얘인 거 같은데요? 잠깐만, 이거 아닌데? 잠깐만. 일단 첫 번째 거는 이거 맞는 거 같고, 두 번째 거 초록색은 이거고. 이렇게다, 그죠?
Nothing.
Did you find it? Looks like a ripped up jigsaw.
이건가?
That was
The
important.
information we need is on.
왜? 이거는 여기 맞잖아요. 이렇게인가?
That's done it.
Neat.
아,
What was on the
파란색이어서
box?
Just a
오케이, 오케이.
photograph. Well, most of a photograph.
찾았다. 한 명은 빨간 머리, 다른 한 명은 초록 머리, 노란 머리인데요? 근데 여기 찢어져 있네. 여기 찢어졌어요. 왜지? 여기 누가 있었던 거지?
It's a little glass
I
box.
think it's a vivarium.
Come again.
See, the leaves might have
그러게
been for
님들 왜
keeping
이렇게 퍼즐 왜
insects.
이렇게 잘해요? 뭐야? 니들 왜 이렇게 잘해? 일단 여기서도 볼 거 다 본 거 같은데?
Just little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
오케이. 그다음에 요 아래 방. 이 빨간 머리다.
Curious. I would expect bacteria of that nature to thrive in these conditions.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there must be something I am still missing.
May I talk to you,
저기
miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am
과학
a
좋아하는
detective,
친구인가 봐.
and I need to talk.
Correction. You do not need to talk to me,
Oh no? How come?
because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Thanks for letting me know.
Speaking of which, you have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes. Surely you have already reached a sturdy hypothesis.
A hypothesis?
아니거든? 46분 됐거든. 퍼즐 푸느라 오래
Yeah, come
걸려가지고.
on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My
퍼즐 푸느라
apologies.
오래 걸려갖고 40분
Unfortunately,
넘었거든?
protocol dictates I must at least meet
이 자식이.
all the suspects.
아는 척하고 있어.
And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fellow, microbiologist, inventor,
미생물학자.
innovator.
됐어, 꺼져.
Fifi's bedroom should be unlocked.
Can't wait.
Sure. Why not build a...
The search for new knowledge. The archiving of old. It's downright poetic.
Is that a...
Of sorts. Hey, look at
이거
that. It's a
여기
model
아니야?
of Tangle Tower. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing...
그치?
Hey, look at It's a model of Tangle Tower. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing...
I'm not sure. Soil samples? It's an illustrated book.
It's been left open.
Or it was left open
Ever
for...
so slightly unnerving.
얼룩새는 놀랍도록 똑똑한 새로 조류 미스티드 중에서도 수명이 굉장히 길다. 독특한 먹이 섭취 특성을 가지고 있는데 보통 탄투마미카의 열매만 먹는다. 이렇게 생긴 것만 먹는데요? 이 깃털 그거 닮았다. 그림에 있는 그거. 칼에 피 묻은 거 그거 닮았는데?
A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a class?
I'm not sure I learned anything from that.
어지러. 저기요 선생님 다시 얘기 좀 해요.
You will need to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response.
Well, first of all, you're a fellow. So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
왜 그렇게 확신하는
Fifi,
거지?
you said you were a micro... something or other?
Microbiologist, but it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What made you want to become a scientist in the first place?
과학자가 된
I
계기는
harbor an
뭐죠?
intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
현미경을?
Correct.
And what's that thing on your head? Did you make that too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me,
아,
I designed this
안경을
custom lens
직접
instead. It
차게
automatically
했던
adjusts based on the
렌즈를.
surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No, but that would be most amusing. What can you tell me about the murder?
What can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
이게 불빛이 안
However,
나네.
you were too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi?
I just need to know what happened.
Me too. So talk.
Fine. I knew ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with
둘이
Poppy. I
엄청
was in
친했던
the
것
library
같은데요,
all
그치?
morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh. Good.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door was locked. someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me. I opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
아,
She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower. We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs. When I saw Freya lying on the floor, I was completely and utterly devastated. Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in
아,
fact,
얘가
blood.
알아낸 거구나.
You performed that scientific test immediately, even though you were feeling so upset?
Of course. Why would one affect the other?
근데 왜 하필 그 빨간 물감만 채취한 걸까?
Name, Flora Fellow. Age, 44. Profession, unknown. Likes, unknown. Dislikes, unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting nonverbal communication.
And how long has Flora been non-verbal?
She has always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her
아,
stop
이렇게
talking
인물들도
entirely?
물어보고 다녀야
She
되네.
suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond. Name, Freya Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, artist. Deceased. Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me. There it is. Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
I will say this. In the past year, Freya became 1. Increasingly independent, and 2. Increasingly
왜?
isolated.
갑자기 왜?
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The three of you were friends.
We are of a similar age, and all
근데
highly
아까
gifted.
퍼피
One
사진은
scientist,
잘려져
one artist,
있었는데
and
사진이
one
그죠?
musician.
Sounds like quite a team.
잠깐만. 사진.
This photograph is my favorite photograph.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me. Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off. It was only a third.
3분의 1?
I believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot ascertain
아, 그럼
any
아까 그
meaning from
퍼피
it
있는 부분이
whatsoever.
찢어진 거 맞는 거 같아. 이따 퍼피한테 가서도 한번 해봐요. 아, 이거
Do
새
you know
도감은
who
뭐야?
was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time.
AI 수기?
Fifi, did you test the red paint in this pot?
Yes, I did. I discovered it too was blood, not paint.
A whole pot full of blood?
Not a whole pot. It is only partially full.
Yeah, but still.
뭐야?
Doesn't that
빨간색은
feature
안에
weak?
물감이 애초에
No.
아니었대.
In fact, it may be considered rather reassuring.
아니 그게 왜 안심이 돼? 이건 뭔지 아니?
Curious.
모르는구나. 이건 아니?
Is she laughing?
뭐야?
This belongs to Poppy. In fact, she owns a number of cassette tapes.
아,
What happened
카세트 테이프가 다
It has
퍼피
been left
거구나.
underwater for an extended period of time.
Right. But why?
왜?
I do not know why. The gramophone belongs to Poppy,
이것도 퍼피
but I
거고.
believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya. Or maybe it is the other way around.
When did it get cracked?
I cannot pinpoint it exactly. All I know is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days. That belongs to my mother. I think she must be fond of eggs. There are a number of egg-shaped carvings
엄마가
to be
약간
found in the
새랑
garden
알 뭐
and in
이런
the
걸 되게
grand
좋아하시나
hall.
봐. 그치?
Yeah, what's the deal with all the eggs?
Some people just like eggs.
오케이 오케이. 잠깐만 여기
A book? Fundamental and...
I guess somebody dropped
여기
it.
뭐 더 없나? 그러면 잠깐만. 여기 포피방도 열렸거든요. 근데 약간 잠깐 아빠한테 가서 물어보자.
Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Oh, yes. Been married over
20년이
20
넘었다.
years now.
You two still get on?
Of course. What a question.
She hasn't gone quiet on you.
It's true she has an independent streak. She's had it her whole
아,
life.
원래 말이
She's the
좀
youngest of 3. Always something of a lone wolf, you know? Just the way she is.
Lone wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk to anyone.
She just likes time to herself, away from
근데
the
어떻게
company
결혼한
of
거야?
other humans.
Other humans?
Well, yes, other people, you know. Uncommonly skilled as an artist, but Freya was so much more than her talent.
다른 재능은
She
뭐가
helped me
있었죠?
get started with my own painting, you know.
나만의
It taught me what she knew about wood carving, too. Tremendous patience. She was ever so good with dear Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh, yes, especially after,
그 후?
especially
그
recently.
후가 뭔데?
How are you related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father, Lord Fellow, was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall. You should take a look at it.
What about her inheritance?
Freya's parents died when she was around 3 years
아이고.
old. She came to live here shortly afterwards.
Nobody left her a thing?
I'm afraid not. She had no formal claim over anything
헐.
at Tangle Tower.
그런 게 어딨어?
I've been carving for a couple of years now. I was hopeless when I started, but it didn't take me long to master it, as you can see.
이게 마스터한 거야?
Do you paint them yourself too?
I do indeed, yes. Freya kindly taught me the basics. Nowadays, I can make just about anything I can imagine. Of course, this particular model is a self-portrait based on hard fact.
Hard fact, huh? So, you
진실
own a
뭐 이런 말
sword,
되게
Felix?
좋아하네.
Of course, I own a great many. But my weapons are stored well away from Tangle Tower.
무기가 많다.
Safety first and all that. Where did
섀도가
you
뭐죠?
find that?
It was in the library.
Really? How odd.
Does Florin normally keep something in here?
She must do, but I admit I've never managed to work out what.
아, 뭘
Why not just ask
보관하는지는
her?
모른다.
I feel like if somebody keeps something locked away in a ceramic egg, it's because they don't want to be asked about it.
Rules to live by.
됐어 그럼. 이거 다시 가서 들이대보자 물건을.
Have the
I don't know if the sudden absence of
Were you close with Freya? How are you two related? Did you kill Freya?
Grimoire.
What? I don't even think she's listening.
Oh, she's listening. We spoke to your daughter Fifi. She's some kind of super intelligent scientist. You must be proud of her.
아우, 딸 자랑을 해도 아무 말 안 하시네. 아, 이거 알.
Flora, this is your egg? Why do you keep it locked?
Is there supposed to be something in there? Or is it always empty?
정말 한마디도 안
Did you ask
하시네.
Freya to paint this? Or was it her idea?
What is that you're holding in the painting, Flora? Some people have been saying it's a knife.
칼 아니고 아까 그 새 그거 같아. 새
Have you seen
꼬리
this
이거
book
똑같이
before?
생겼어 이거 봐.
Do you know who it belongs to?
I really thought she was going to say something there. Is this your gramophone?
Do you know why it's cracked?
아유 속 터져. 아우 속 터져. 소피한테 가. 아 피피 방이네.
It looks like a microscope.
Can I touch it? I'm not sure.
이거는 맞아요. 열쇠 모양을 만드는 것 같은데.
I guess that's wrong.
The four lenses, so they must each have a specific position.
여기 적혀 있는 거 봤어요. 이거 맞지 않나요? 아, 이거 맞지 않나요? 선생님? 근데 이러면 여기가 이게 보이잖아. 이렇게 되는
That's the
거.
one.
Hey, not
아,
bad.
이거 이렇게 돼도 상관없구나.
Sounds
아,
like
저는
unlocked.
저게 걸리면은 요 모양이 생기는 거잖아. 그래서 안 되는 줄
Yeah.
알았는데 되네요.
There's a book in here.
책. 비밀 일기장? 음악 용도요? 끝나고 해주시면 안 될까? 혹시 저작권 걸리면 안 되니까.
A new suspect. Don't think you can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
I'm innocent, I promise.
이걸 같이
Save it for
놀아준다고?
the judge. Fifi's got something pinned
What
up.
is all this?
이건 뭐야? 네, 혹시 저작권 걸릴 수도 있어서. 음악 소리가 작나요? 이 정도면 괜찮은 것 같은데? 좀 작아요? 관계도인데? 둘이 결혼했고. 뭐지?
Did you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm.
아 그러네.
And Fifi herself.
그러네. 피피랑 프레야가 없네.
What's that big
Looks
book?
like something Fifi's.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology. Boxes of stuff.
Pretty.
We're supposed to be looking.
And over here, a simple trick, but it really it's a magnifying.
How come you don't?
Why? Should I start
You
smoking
couldn't pull off.
crystal chandeliers?
I don't know. Plus, they're kind of dusty.
여기서 다 본 것 같아요. 이 정도면.
We already solved it.
둘이 밀어볼까? 이 일기장 풀어줘.
A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
아, 어림도 없고. 일단 그럼 이쪽은 다 둘러봤고 이쪽으로 넘어가 볼까요?
There's a metal plaque
Is
on
there
the.
a message in
I think there was, but someone scratched it off. A pointless
주변
little
좀
stone
살펴본 다음에
No.
말을 겁시다.
Want to play hide and seek?
I could be persuaded.
증거를 들이밀게.
A giant glowing gemstone. full-
AKA a greenhouse. Hi.
It's Tangle Tower. Or at least it's the mansion. It's a big stone dais.
Biggest one I've ever seen. First one too. More of that weird.
Really makes me. Are we on an?
Beats me.
Is that a?
If it is, it's a.
I'm guessing it doesn't tell the
So
time.
what does it do?
아,
Reset the puzzle.
이것도 뭔가 퍼즐인데
Just gonna rest my brain.
뭔가 찾고 나서 해야 될 것 같은 느낌인데요?
A wooden trunk.
I want one.
하이.
Whoa. Nice cape.
You're not fellows or pointers. I'm sure I shall immediately regret asking. But who are you, and what is your business here?
I'm Sally, and this is my sidekick Grimoire.
A private detective, Grimoire.
Really? You're a detective.
어머,
If this is a joke, it's not a good one.
Who are you anyway?
Private Detective Hawkshaw.
Oh, nice.
어?
Hawkshaw's a cooler name than Grimoire.
탐정이라고?
Maybe I'll become her sidekick.
You're not on the Freya fellow case, too, are you?
That is classified information between myself and my client. Clearly, this is something which eludes you. But a real detective refrains from handing out informations to persons unknown.
Oh, right.
Now, if you would, I have work to do. It's not in my interest to discuss personal details.
Even if you're one of the suspects in a murder?
Very well. Let us make a small
어,
exception.
얘기한다. 얘기해.
Ask.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I'm on a case at the behest of my client.
How long have you been at Tangle Tower?
133 hours. 5.5 days.
Who are you working for?
I am not at liberty to answer that. Now, I shall permit you one more question.
What crime are you...
How'd you get that scar? It's cool.
You really think so? As it happens, I completed an examination of Flora's room on the morning before the murder. I've been investigating every single room at Tangle Tower. Hers was one of the last on my list.
Did you find anything unusual?
Nothing but a thin layer of dust and an atmosphere of somber melancholy.
Was Flora in
이
there
사람도
at the
알아는
time?
게 별로
She
없나
spent
봐.
the
뭐
duration
있어도 안
of my
알려줄 것
search
같긴
staring
한데.
up at the sky,
아차차차.
out the open window. Didn't say a word. Although I'm told this is the expected behavior.
What did you do after that?
I spent the early evening searching the library. It took longer than it should have. Fiona leaves that room in a permanent state of disarray.
Fiona was in the library too?
I expected her to make an appearance, but she did not.
And you stayed in the library the rest of the day?
Not quite. Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's hiding something?
Perhaps. She has some strange
이상한
habits.
습관이 있대요.
I heard she barely sleeps. An hour here or there.
헐.
Sporadically. Spends the rest
잠을
of
안
her time
잔다고?
staring up at the sky.
무서워.
Freya
Freya.
Fellow is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed.
어.
I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, detective. Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely.
자, 그럼 일단은 증거 중에서 이거
You
봤니?
got it open. I'm impressed. I managed it myself yesterday. I thought Flora might be hiding something in there.
It was empty yesterday too.
It was. Perhaps it's always been empty.
아, 이거
A somewhat
추억기.
cumbersome device, and an altogether inefficient way to listen to music.
What kind of music do you like, Hawkshaw?
I like anything.
What a cop-out.
아, 이거 물감 깨진 거 봤니?
Yep.
Paints.
Mm-hmm.
아, 뭐야, 못 봤니?
The paint is still wet.
Yeah, well, we know Freya was in the middle of painting when she was killed.
Do you know that? How? Because you were told? A book from the library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes. I see that.
아무래도 저 깃털 같은데? 저 깃털을 들고 있었던 것 같아. 칼이 아니라.
Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No?
No. Makes quite an impression, doesn't it? Although I can't imagine why she painted Flora
이거
wielding
칼
a
아니야?
knife.
깃털 같아. 새 깃털.
You didn't see a knife anywhere in Flora's room, did you?
I did not.
근데 저
I
새
conclude
깃털이라고
whatever
하면 왜
stabbed
그
Freya
깃털
must have
끝에
been brought
피가
into
묻어
the room from
있느냐는
outside.
모르겠어.
Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of thinking.
멋있다 근데 점점 말할수록 멋있는데? 일단 오케이. 여기 다 열렸다 이쪽도. 싹 한번 돌아보자 일단. 온실.
Hanging baskets.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2 inches.
2 inches makes all the difference.
That's a handsome beetle. Looks like he might have magic.
Is that fruit?
Too no.
Is that
Too
fruit?
shiny to be fruit. I think it's glowing.
Safety.
I'm gonna say no.
씨 깜짝이야. 이거 사람 서 있는 거네. 깜짝이야. 아 그냥 식물들만 이렇게 있는 데인 줄 알았어요. 그리고 다음 식물은 뭘 클릭할까 이러고 봤는데 여기 눈이 있어. 깜짝 놀랐네.
soil.
It's so...
Tools used by a gardener.
아니 선생님 왜 그러고 서 계시는 거예요?
It's glad.
Total
I am not.
A little chart. Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
그러니까 개 무서워. 이건 뭐야? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 이라고 써져 있는데 일단은
What do you make of
Not
it?
a whole lot.
This one's in
Okay,
it
that is-
looks like a gemstone. Don't you think?
화분에 있는 열린 열매는 단단하고 표면이 원석 같다. 토양은 색이 비정상적으로 푸르다. 저 선생님,
Sally, don't move. We're being watched.
Yeah, I see
아니
him.
깜짝 놀랐어요 진짜로.
He's a little too big to hide in the bushes.
깜짝 놀랐어.
Is anyone going to say anything? Or shall we just stand around staring at each other?
Right. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's better. I'm Sally.
말하네.
And the guy hiding behind me is Detective Grimoire. Who are you?
Fitzfellow. The gardener.
Mm-hmm. And why are you so
피츠펠로.
tall?
I don't know. I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone.
아, 얘는 새를 좋아하고 얘는 식물을 좋아하고 그래서 뭔가 둘이 뭔가 접점이 있나 봐.
She was always kind to me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working, sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
뭐에
Poppy wanted to
대해서?
learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Insects.
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside. She'd say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away. I didn't really understand her, but she was always kind.
왜 달라 그랬지?
Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
왜?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know.
이거 이따 가서 물어봐야겠다.
She questioned me,
About what?
my work, the plants, bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me, I can tell.
음,
Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I was just about to say the same thing.
이제 아빠는 다 안 좋아하네. 모든 사람들이 별로 안 좋아하는데.
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, it was a joke. I was joking.
Oh, I see.
아무도 안 좋아해.
It's
혹시
of
이거
no
아니?
interest to me, but I overheard Poppy and Freya talking about it once.
What were they saying?
They were arguing about something, but I can't remember the details.
포피한테 가면 물어볼 게 많은데?
This is a good example of how things work. I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gemstony?
Sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this shiny and edible fruit?
You look at it.
새 보감.
Penelope knows about birds. You should ask her instead.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about something. There's a plant mentioned on this page, see? Do you have any? In the greenhouse?
No, I don't grow that anymore. I've tried, in the past. It's incredibly difficult, even for me. I could never get it to live more than a couple of weeks.
물어볼 건 다 혹시 이거
Freya's
아나요?
best work, in my opinion. Although, the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
What do you think it's a painting of?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting.
추억.
That belongs to Poppy.
So why is it up in Flora's tower?
I'm not sure.
이 정도면 다 물어본 거 같죠?
You work here as the gardener.
I don't get paid to do it. It's just my area of interest.
What's the deal with the plants? They're all kinda weird.
Right. Did you see the lake?
That giant green and purple lake surrounding the entire house? Yeah, I clocked it.
The color is just a byproduct.
Of what? Poison?
It's not poisonous. Not to you.
What's this got to do with the plants?
The water controls all life, just like anywhere else on the planet. Clouds form, rain falls. The water grows the plants, animals eat the plants. Anything you've perceived as an irregularity is simply a result of this hydrological cycle.
Could you say that again, but like condense it as if you were talking to a slightly stupid person?
Our lake water causes the unpredictable alteration of DNA, sometimes.
그거랑 다르잖아요.
Like mutation.
That'd be the official term. For us, it's normal. Just nature.
And you're the local expert on all this stuff?
No, I'm just the gardener. I was in my greenhouse, watering and weeding.
Sounds exciting.
Was anyone else around?
Not at first. Penelope came in a little later. She likes looking at the flowers, I think.
Did you speak to each other?
A little, not too much.
얘기를 해?
We both left the greenhouse in the early afternoon. I went up to my room. Then I came back outside to weed the main gardens. Didn't see anyone else. After that, I went up to the garden outside my room.
And?
Let me guess. Watering and weeding.
Right.
Did anything happen to you yesterday, Fitz?
I was up in the rooftop garden. It was quiet. And then, it wasn't. I can't describe it. Could have been a scream, but it didn't sound human. We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
We?
Poppy was with me. Did I not mention that? Flora's room was locked. That's normal. She usually locks it from the inside. I knocked on the door and shouted. Nobody responded. We became concerned.
You kicked the door down?
I did. Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back. Flora was there too, but I barely noticed her at first. Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too. Penelope arrived shortly after that, with Felix in tow. I thought that was odd. You don't normally see the two of them together.
아, 보통 둘이 같이 안 있는데.
Felix took charge. There was nothing else I could do to help. I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything. I found her pacing back and forth around the stone square. When I approached her, she snapped at me. I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
오케이.
Fitz's room is unlocked. It's up in the fellow tower.
This could be interesting.
방 바로 가봐. 아, 여기구나.
It's a little handmade card. Someone's drawn a heart on the front.
귀여워. 수제 카드래.
Inside it says, to Fitz, from PP. An empty glass.
Looking at it is making...
Why?
I don't know.
근데 그렇게
That
아무것도
poor
없네.
plant.
Looks pretty healthy.
Healthy, but I think it would rather be outside.
It's locked. But at
I
least
thought we were halfway up.
we
to-
are.
What's that thing by the handle?
어. 뭐지?
Nothing.
The
Those
tiles, maybe they're connected.
아 잠깐만.
Nope. It's-
Maybe the information we need
So
is
where is it?
somewhere else.
아 힌트를 아직 못
Let's
찾았네
come
우리가.
back once we know.
여기 뭐
Hello.
있다.
Not hidden.
Doesn't
very-
need to be. It's a combination lock, sort of.
뭐지 이거는? 응? 이거다. 아닌데? 맞나? 맞나? 근데 여기는 왜 안 이어지지? 근데 맞는 것 같긴 해요. 여기도 이어질 거고 여기도 이어지는데 여기는 안 이어지네?
Nothing.
Maybe if you move the paper.
근데 뭐 이거 어쩌라는 거지? 그러네. 물방울 모양. 근데 그러게 무슨 색을 무슨 모양으로 해야 되는 거지? 이건 했었고 색을 어떻게 구분해야 되지 진짜로? 이것도 아까 한 거잖아. 아, 이거다. 요거네, 요렇게.
That's done it.
Neat.
오케이.
Anything
이거
in there?
순서
Yeah, it's
상관없이
right.
그냥 하면
That's
되나봐.
kind of ominous.
색깔은 못했는데 찾았어요. 뭐야? 피피 FF 뭐야? 근데 색깔을 뭔지 모르는데 어쨌든 됐어. 어떻게 됐네? 그 다음에 다시 가서 저기요. 이거
This is yours, Fitz?
Yeah,
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked.
뭐야 왜 얘기 안 해?
Towards the early evening, my examination of the library was unexpectedly disrupted. Sounds of running, wailing, shouting from several floors above. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared. He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. Our eyes met. He was breathless. Something had caused him great alarm. He told me to stay out of the way. I consented. I decided to return to my office in the stone square. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. She was clutching the banister of the Pointer staircase with an apprehensive manner. She wished to know where Professor Pointer had gone. I told her what had transpired. Then, she too crossed the hall and disappeared up the fellow staircase. More so than at any moment prior, I felt like quite an intruder in the house. I took my leave, out towards the stone square. The grounds were silent. There were no signs of human life. Even the greenhouse was without its typical inhabitant. I noted that he, too, must be entangled in whatever was transpiring in Fellow Tower. An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance. He spoke to me of what had occurred. His report was as clumsy and cumbersome as the man giving it.
Did he seem upset?
He was rattled. That much was clear, but sorrowful, mournful, I cannot say.
놀라긴 했는데 막 슬퍼하거나 그러진 않았다.
I'll say this, he's well suited to physical labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse, but I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers.
실험적인 꽃을
In secret.
번식한다고?
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless. This is a potential murder weapon, is it not?
I don't know. I don't think the murderer would leave the murder weapon just lying around.
I think you'd be surprised as to what people leave lying around. A diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
The people here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For what possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the earth?
너무 모든 거를 잠깐만. 일단 됐어. 됐고 다른 데 이동해 봅시다. 가서 뭔가 힌트 얻어가지고 상자 열어봐야 될 것 같아서. 우와 뭐야 여기는?
Are they paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I'll like a little parade of floating spirit.
Who plays the violin, I wonder?
It's pretty dusty. So I'm guessing nobody.
Oh, whatever it is, it's...
Well, it is the music. Gotta practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
뿔필이 안과 밑바닥에는 금이 간 유리 조각이 널려 있대요.
Smells like a forest.
There's a faded...
When I was a kid, I never knew the...
You still don't know, do
No,
you? Sheet music.
that's a lot of notes.
Probably while they're on the floor. It's one of those big...
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
저기요?
Are you a ghost?
Sally! That's rude!
야!
Unless she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
Ah,
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
what's your name?
My name is Poppy. I'm a pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about Freya.
너구나.
I know.
Hey, you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice.
플로라.
Needless noise from tongues expel, unless within the mouth they dwell. The spoken word, unfit for dealing with the shifting form of feeling. Stand unblinking in the face of taciturn and soundless space.
응?
Foregone drifter, holding fast. Days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender? Accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom some four walls make around a room.
피피.
Between the lips a silver spoon, a story written all too
그러게요.
soon.
완전
The chosen dwelling of her heart.
완전 다른데 뭔가?
unjustly chosen to depart.
다른
Lost
인물들하고
her liberation
느낌이?
lays in the center of a maze. With surging tide, the waves are thrown, an entity of all its own. But on its surface you may see, reflected in the waters be, the orchestrator, pale and still, pulling strings, enacting will. Hard of head, but free of mind, unimprisoned, unconfined. With starry eyes, she sees beyond, behind our walls, beneath our pond. A soul untied, it's hers, it's free. Was then, is now, will ever be.
엄청
Softly does the flower grow, all in time, and time is slow. Rest a seed within the earth.
엄청
Do not
감성적인
rush its
친구다.
gentle
그죠?
birth. Hour by hour, day by day, tune your heart to nature's way. That's me. I'm on a list of murder suspects. Always thought that would be kinda cool, but it's just tedious.
Falls a little short.
본인은
doesn't
그렇게
it?
설명 안 하네. 본인은 어떻게 설명할까 싶어서 물어본 건데.
Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the
아,
piano.
누군진 모르겠는데 피아노를 만진 사람이 있다. 너 혹시 이 사진 아니?
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
생긴 건 제일 수상하게
Yeah.
생겼나요?
How come you're not in it? You're friends with them too,
너하고도
aren't you?
친구잖아.
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable.
이거는
I
뭔지
think
알아?
everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
아,
Sorry, but
어머.
if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes.
아,
It
추궁기.
was my mother's originally.
So, why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes.
테이프는?
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style, is it?
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody?
그럼 이거는 너
This
스타일이니?
is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy.
이건
What do
아니?
you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah, weird.
그다음에 뭐를 들이대야 되지? 뭐 얘한테 얘 관련된 거 뭐 되게 많았던 것 같은데. 아,
Is that
일기장?
Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room before.
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me invading her privacy.
I thought you and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's just Fifi's gotten kinda...
근데 왜
I'm not
그런
sure.
거지 갑자기?
I'm sure she'd tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it. That belongs to Flora, I think. Why is the glass cracked down one side?
Natural wear and tear, maybe?
No way. Freya took good care of her stuff.
맞네 그러면 누가 쳐가지고 와르르 무너진 것
Don't
같아.
you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone or signed by anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you.
우리를 조종한다고.
When I first saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding a knife with blood on the tip.
You don't think that anymore?
No, it was a stupid thing to say. The room was dark. I was in shock. I'm just an idiot.
But it was blood on the tip. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an important clue.
Is it a clue? Really? Tell me how it's a clue. Tell me how it helps. Nothing about the knife makes any sense. It's just freaking everyone out. Wish I'd never said anything.
그래 이게 아닐 수도 있고 색이 들어갔다니까요 진짜로.
Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that. Is that a gardening trowel?
Yeah, I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Huh, never seen him use it. What was inside?
Nothing.
얘도 모르네.
Huh.
So there are two families living in Tangle Tower?
Mm-hmm. 3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't one. Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora is a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother. She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the Fellows and the Pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask, that means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea.
일단은 여기서도
All right. Poppy's bedroom
I
is
wonder
on.
what's in there.
오케이. 여기서도 볼 거 다 본 것 같아요. 피의 방을 가자. 피의 방.
There's something about that diary we found in something.
Let's ask her about it.
아니 갑자기 왔는데 수상하다고? 야 일기장 수상하구만.
A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
응? 뭐야 물어봐도 아무것도 안 하는데
What
얘기?
is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Oh, it's impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
Must be worth a fortune.
Why do you ask, Fifi?
물어봐도
I'm the
아무것도
heir
안
of the
하는데?
Fellow family and the Remington family. This makes me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
That's quite an inheritance.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her.
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like
근데 왜
that?
잠가놨어
You
이렇게?
seriously require an explanation. Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10 and...
So, there are secrets written in here?
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
다른
It's
누군가의
somebody
일기장.
else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary. Something to prove who the original owner was.
사진?
Let's take a closer look at this.
아 그러네 여기 있네.
This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belongs to Fifi. Almost. Maybe just change.
응? 아.
This blue
이거.
book is the same thing as the secret
아
diary.
이름이
which
헷갈렸어요 지금.
proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these
그니까 왜
things?
그랬어? 비밀 편지 때문인가? 피피가 알리고 싶지 않았던 것은 그림일까? 비밀 편지일까? 알리고 싶지 않았던 것은 피피가 알리고 싶지 않았던 것은 뭐가 일기장 속에 있었기 때문이다인데 그림일까?
Fifi didn't want anyone to see drawings within Freya's diary. Almost. Maybe just change one.
이건가?
Fifi destroyed drawings within Freya's diary. Nope.
이거 아니야? 일기장에 피피가 누구에게도 알리고 싶지 않은 사실이 적혀있나? 비밀 편지인가?
Fifi didn't want anyone to see a secret letter within Freya's diary. Almost. Maybe just change.
개인적인
Fifi
아,
didn't want
이거네.
anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary.
그러네.
Is this true,
개인적인
Fifi?
비밀이네.
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide
빨리
something,
얘기해.
You did
친구가
not know Freya, so this might
살인사건인데.
be difficult to understand.
빨리 얘기하라고.
She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Innocence?
결백?
might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
뭘로부터 결백을 증명할 건데?
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
All right, Fifi.
됐다.
Finally.
틀렸다.
What's in there?
그게 다시 보인다. 이번에는 실제로 나인가? 내가 그렇게 만든 건가? 그 그림을 찢어버려야 할 것 같다. 영혼 전달자는 성공이다. 장한 녀석. 이제 내게 2개가 있다. 둘이 더 필요해. 중앙으로 가는 길을 찾았다. 하프랑 비교하면 굉장히 단순했다. 그들을 모두 봤다. 5 모두. 눈을 모두 까맣게 그었다. 지켜야 할 약속이 있다. 난 최선을 다할 것이다. 동반자가 있어도 좋을 것 같다. 뭔 소리야 이거는? 하프도 열고 중앙으로 가는 길을 찾았다 뭐 이러는 것 같은데요? 이거 뭐야?
Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be? The fruit here has a unique chemical makeup. It makes them completely pointless. Unless you wish to cut it down and sell it as a precious stone.
It's not edible.
Depends
On what?
on the structural integrity of your teeth. That blade,
It's a troll for gardening.
it is.
Is this your diary, Fifi?
됐어 그럼 어쨌든 끝난 거지? 뭘 본 거지? 뭘 본 걸까?
It's an octopus.
No, it has 6 legs. Don't say it.
Sextopus.
Oh, thank goodness. Wouldn't want it to be dark in here. A single. How very.
Yeah, weird. It's a metronome.
It's ticking. Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be. Not sure what those symbols are, though.
메트로놈 다이얼 4개 모두 돌려 맨 위로 가게 해? 아씨 다 합치긴 했는데 잠깐만. 됐다. 아! 오케이.
There we go.
Perfect. What happened?
A little hatch.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. Part of a photograph.
아까 그 사진이다. 분홍색 카세트 플레이어 핸드폰 쓰고 있대. 이건 누구야? 포피 맞는
Anything
거
in the
아닌가?
Dress is mostly.
스타일을 바꾼 건가?
Just a bunch. Nothing weird
To
about
you.
that. A big glass leads out.
There's a little mechanism.
손잡이 장치? 이거 아까 그거다. 여긴 또 모양이 다르네요?
Nothing.
All
Still,
4 tiles.
those other symbols look like suns.
I think it is.
아 거기에 있는 달 모양대로? 이렇게 있지 않았나?
Something happened.
That must be it.
이걸 외웠네.
And the door.
I still feel like we made some sort. Didn't we
We
solve?
did, but the door.
요 모양 그대로 가서 이제 그쪽을 열면 되겠어요. 여기였나?
It's locked. But at
I
least
thought we were.
are.
What's that thing by the handle?
근데 얘네들이 뭔데 이렇게 똑같이 있는 거야?
It made a noise.
I guess that was right. Finally.
Whatever's on the other side, better.
따가봅시다. 둘이 만나는 데가 있네.
That's one big dragonfly.
Or
그러게요.
one very
연결돼
small
있어.
Ah, a little water.
It's making-
Wonder how it's hooked up.
Giant stone frog.
Yeah, he's got his-
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
4개의 깃털.
It's a rose bush. Apart
The
from
roses are bright.
aren't
Exactly.
a little pond.
It looks. See those metal
Oh, yeah.
balls? Nothing. Looks like somebody broke them and then never. That's one
Or
big.
one very small.
헤드폰을
It's
끼고
another
He's
있어.
playing a lute.
He's also
Well, they're not part and they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
귀마개라고? 동상 머리에 귀마개가 써져 있다.
It's so relaxed. I might just stay.
Oh, shut up.
That'd be great. More egg statues.
I don't get it.
Well, either the artist sculptor was
What
just.
do you
real-
mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make. More egg statues.
don't get
well,
it.
artist, an egg has got to be the easiest.
The door into Poppy's.
So only Poppy.
Ah, I guess so.
얘네 둘만 왔다 갔다 할 수 있는 비밀 공간 같은 느낌인가 봐.
A single
Yeah. Weird.
sheet music.
It's only a
Yeah,
few-
it's been framed though. Must be important for some reason. Various
What do you
hand-
think-
Hopefully.
아, 잠깐만.
Ah, yes. Always a good
It's an
omen.
eye.
다시 가서 그 아까 사진 한번 들이대 보자. 여.
I don't know what that is.
Weird. Considering
모르는
you
척
found
하지
it
마.
hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there.
아니거든. 비밀이 거기에 넣어져 있었거든.
I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me. Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
딴딴딴딴딴딴딴.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Why?
I found them lying around. I think they belonged to Fitz. I put them on the statue so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones, like he's in the recording studio with his guitar. No?
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
Where?
I don't know, in a hallway. I can't remember exactly. I see a lot of birds up in the rooftop garden. They seem to really like it up there.
Why's that?
그럼 엄마도 좋아하지 않을까? 왜 엄마는 안 가고 얘네 둘만 갈까? 아, 잠깐만.
I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
How are you related to the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days.
그래야겠어요.
Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
Do people ever leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away.
아,
Definitely.
떠나고
Fifi, Freya, and I
싶다고.
would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi, things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer. 3.5 hours of piano practice. Soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way, so I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that. Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a
금속
piece
조각에
of
드릴을
metal,
박는 소리였다고?
but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora were both supposed to be in there, so I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually, she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
여기는 진술이
First
똑같네요.
time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The three of us went back up to Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
There's something about that something.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
아 맞다.
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
그
What can you
사진이
tell us
너가
about this
맞다
cassette tape?
그렇게
Is it yours?
해야 되는 것 같은데 그죠?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be
아까
honest.
그 액자에 있던 거 연주 그대로 한 거
Sure it
아니야?
doesn't belong to
그치?
you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like
그쵸
that.
맞는 것
Why
같아.
not?
Not my color.
당신은 예전에 이런 색을 좋아했어요.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors.
이거
Let's take a closer look at this.
그런가?
The pink cassette
아,
tape
맞네.
found
맞네요.
at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
맞지?
That is not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up and then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward. Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
That anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
어.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music
아,
onto
이제
it and
솔직하게
gave it to Freya as a
얘기하네.
gift
드디어.
years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
오케이. 일단은 여기 가볼까요? 아, 그 온실 가야 되는데. 선생님 잠시만요. 한번 계세요. 야.
Wait, those are mine, the earmuffs. They went missing about a week ago.
What do you need
일주일?
earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
발견한 지 얼마 안 됐다고
You don't
했었는데.
own a chainsaw, do you?
No. I wear them while I'm gardening, and it stops people from trying to talk to me.
아, 사람들이 말 거는 게
That's
싫어서.
genius.
그다음에 이거
We found
깃털.
these up in the rooftop garden. Do you know how long they've been there?
No, it could have been a long time. We don't ever really clear up the rooftop garden.
Why not?
Nature is unruly. In truth, it prefers to be left alone.
그거 말고는 없나?
Poppy and I are friends.
Oh, I can buy that. Dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong?
Any idea who this is?
No
Oh.
idea.
몰라보는 거야? 모르는 척하는 거야?
Poppy's piano music. I remember when she started learning. She's improved a lot since then.
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
Right. Of course.
아, 이거
What's with the broken glass?
모르네. 됐어, 이 정도 하고. 안녕하세요. 저희 아까 왔었는데 기억하시나?
And especially
And
fan-
it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
소 3마리.
They're bird cages. But the birds are
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is. Check out that butter.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
Bird
They're
diagrams.
beautiful. Someone.
Bird
They're
diagrams.
beautiful. Someone. I don't like mirrors.
How do you get your...
I do by weight. I can feel if one side is.
My little writing desk.
There's nothing written in the book.
What's with those little windows?
I think they're there for
Oh.
training.
무게로 알아낼 수 있대. 별거 없네요, 근데. 여기는.
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely!
근데
And that
이 사람
shade.
색깔이 되게 많은
You're
거 보니까
really
색을 되게
pushing me
좋아하나
on
봐.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer. Pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
말투가 약간
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the
그래
mouth, don't you
보이는데?
think?
Sure. Yeah.
말투가
I'm sure I've read about this creature. Some don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though. There used to be all kinds of birds here at Tangle Tower. The most fascinating breeds, all totally unique.
Used to be? There are birds all over the place.
Most of them are rather ordinary, I'm afraid.
What happened to the
평범하지 않은 새들은
non-ordinary
어떻게
ones?
됐는데?
That is a very good question.
너가 어떻게 했니?
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
아,
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've already forgotten all 3 of those names.
Which one is which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest. Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
타타타 쩌네요.
Glad we
타타타.
cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
아니 모자야?
Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point, I thought Fitz might be growing them to
하려고
sell
했었다고?
them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look.
아, 새 도감.
Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals.
Extinct.
멸종했다고?
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The
얘는요?
ink dip.
This one? Well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle
아,
Tower.
우와, 멸종했다고
So it's
알려졌는데
not
한 마리
extinct.
발견됐대.
You misunderstand. It
아,
was the last one.
발견했었었다.
The very last.
Oh.
아, 이거.
If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling. Don't you think?
색깔이 별로 없어서 그런 것
It's
같은데.
Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her.
아, 별로 안 좋아하나 봐.
Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could say the same thing about her husband.
Heyo.
She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species, too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabel, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
For my 21st birthday, she gave me a
엄청
framed
많네.
painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her, but she had a way of understanding unspoken things. Oh, did you
Poppy.
talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
어?
Why would Poppy lie to us?
Because that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like one, too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it.
사이가
Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him
뭐지?
very well.
I don't remember asking for your input.
얘를 좋아해서 얘를 싫어하는 건가?
She mostly ignores me, if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh, I mean, well, you don't need to.
No, it's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it. A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it. I must say, I really don't care for the den of self-delusion that he's retreated into. People are better off when they just let
아빠는
themselves be
다
themselves. Between
평가가
you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable. I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing.
많은 사람들이 이
And for some
그림을
reason, it
좋아한다고?
makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew.
We can get into Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now.
가보자.
Ever get the feeling you're
The mannequins don't have
That's not. Ever get the feeling
mannequins don't have
That's not.
It's a
Are
birdhouse.
those real birds?
어?
Nope.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real
Nope.
There must be some logic to how the birds are something to do with those white
하얀
lines.
선? 이거다.
No, that was it.
Nice work.
나이스.
Did the door open? What's in
별
there?
문제 없으면 올릴 것 같아요. 어. Get her. 이제 내가 그녀를 갖겠어. 뭐야 이거? What?
That's some.
There's something weird just feels out of place.
이거 온실에 있는 거 셉인 거 아니야 이거?
A little tea set. Looks
One of the cups has
What's in
tea.
the other one?
Birdseed. A little bedtime.
Let's see. Romance novel. And
What?
this one appears to be both.
Nice.
Looks like nature. Rude.
You know, the birds
Well, if that's true, can they... Traveling cases.
empty. All of them.
그러게요. 왜 나이스인지 모르겠네. 잠깐만 이거 온실에 가서 물어보자. 야.
A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We
이거
found it in Penny's
팬이방에서
room.
찾았어.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to. Those
이거는
petals, they,
What?
they're red. Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they like her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not.
이거를 그러면 숨겨. 이거 뭔지
Those
아니?
petals.
What about them?
It's nothing. They're just unusual.
얘 방에 빨간 장미 있지 않았었나?
Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No, we found it in Penny's room.
Right. I think it's kind of cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective.
혹시 얘네 둘한테 보여준 뭐 있을까 했는데 얘한테 가서 다시 물어보자 그럼. 솔직하게 얘기해.
20-something,
이거 듣자.
Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the
본인이
sea?
좋아하는 주제로 얘기할 때
Where
그
I go,
텐션이
I
상당하네, 그죠?
always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the
약혼자야?
traveling type, you see.
Fitz fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
그냥 짝사랑하는 게 아니고
I'm not especially
약혼자였어?
interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our two families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether. I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there, crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
엄청
It's where
좋아하는
he's
거 같아,
happiest.
그죠?
That and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
지금
And
거의
how many birds are you
초반이나
responsible
초반은
for?
아닌가?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like
이거 그냥
400.
살인
Can
사건이
they not
일어났고
feed
관련
themselves?
사람들을 조사하고 있는
Of
거예요.
course. And they
영상
often do.
올려드릴게요.
But I think they just like the company. As do I. Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the Fellow Tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
그러면 이거
Yes,
뭐죠?
it's my, my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at least like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar.
어? 근데 왜 방에 놔뒀어? 이건 뭐야?
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope, you'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business. Oh, did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right.
얘가 선물로 준 건가? 그 다음에 이제 마지막 장소를 살펴보죠.
It's too cloudy.
It's also daytime. You know,
A
I
mechanic.
would look at it.
Wait a minute. Earth in the middle. How old is this thing? Nothing.
So there are two. Rotate the planets and rotate the sun and moon.
살인사건이 일어났는데 그거를 알아보는 게임이에요. 이거 어떻게 알아는 거지?
I guess that's
I think you just need to get the shadows.
Nope.
The sun and moon, the shape on the base is symmetrical.
아, 이렇게?
Nope.
The sun and moon, the shape on the base is symmetrical, so it doesn't.
뭐라고요?
The sun and moon need to be at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. The shape on the base is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which is which.
1시하고 4시라고? 1시하고 5시라고? 오른쪽으로 몰아야 된다고요? 이렇게?
Nope.
The sun and moon need the shape on the base is symmetrical.
아,
Nope.
The sun and the shape on the base is
Nope.
the sun and the shape on the base is
아,
symmetrical.
5시. 4시가 아니고 5시군요. 이거다.
Nope.
어,
The
뭐야,
sun
아니야?
and the shape on the base is symmetrical.
어, 맞지 않나?
Nope.
The sun and moon. The shape on the base is symmetrical.
얘가 여기고 얘가 여긴가?
Nope.
The sun and moon. The shape on the base is symmetrical.
이건가 그럼?
Nope.
The sun and moon. The shape on the base is symmetrical.
어, 이건가?
Nope.
The
이것도
sun and the
아닌데?
shape on the base is symmetrical.
어, 이거다.
I got it.
I'm impressed.
오케이. 아.
Did you hear
찾았다.
that?
There's a little hatch underneath. What's in there?
A bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
황금 딱정벌레. 발견한 사람에게 불행을 초래한다는 다소 비논리적인 평판을 가지고 있다.
We already solved it.
이거밖에 없어?
A spyglass?
They're in very good condition. Pretty.
It's a chart of the
Which
planet are you? Miss Tiny, the notebook is...
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
it's too cloudy.
It's also daytime.
Let's at least...
Always a good roll. What?
살펴보고 다
It's large.
You're
살펴봤지?
not wrong.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
저기요.
Shh, listen.
아, 잠깐만,
Do
이거
you
액정
hear
못 봤다.
them? The stars. They're whispering. So quiet, and yet so loud.
What are they whispering about? Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust.
아,
you
그리고
and
제가
I.
일단 풀어보고 나서 도저히 모르겠다는
Could the
채팅방을
start
이렇게
by telling
보니까
me his
걱정
name?
안 하셔도 돼요.
You find yourself standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like
자부심이
this tower belongs
굉장하시네.
to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
Helpful.
아, 네, 대단하네요. 잠시만요.
A picture frame.
With no picture.
It's full of tea.
Criminal.
Me? Not much to say. Strictly
이 사람
speaking,
수상하다고?
I'm the
약간
current
그죠?
head of the Pointer family. And of course, father to my precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17
말투가.
books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My field of research has never yielded any kind of stable financial return, nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a humble interpreter for the cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the Cosmos I say hi.
어제.
The day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars began to appear, naturally.
For how long?
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
Did you see anything?
No actual
Example.
discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find
아니
out
근데 얘
about such
같이
a
가지
thing. But
않았었어요?
a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening. I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask
그래서
about
아까
the
문
book,
앞에 아빠가
Poppy
서
grabbed
있었다
my hand
그랬구나.
and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room. Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family business. I'm quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that.
이건 뭐예요?
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle
갑자기
Tower.
입을 싹
I'm
닫는다고?
not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy
여기 안에
tower.
있었는데요?
That's all the
Let's
statements.
go over them all. That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything
To
doesn't...
see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon. Then I heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering.
그래서 얘가 부시고
Finally, Fitz
들어갔죠?
kicked down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs.
I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from
어,
the Pointer
아빠가
staircase.
한 명 더 내려가는 소리 들었다 그러지 않았어? 그래서 2명 내려갔다 그러지 않았어요?
As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me.
I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow
2명
tower.
내려갔다 그랬는데?
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very
이거 아빠가 수상하네. 아빠가 2명 내려오는 소리 들었다 그랬거든? 한 명 내려가고 그 뒤를 이어서 또 누가 내려갔다 그랬거든요.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
뭘 기다리게 한 건데?
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
아니야.
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
일단은 네 오늘은 여기까지 하고 내일 이어서 또 네 하도록 하죠 여러분. 일단 녹화는 여기서 마무리하고 내일 이어서 바로 할게요. 유바